Hello everyone, it's Laura Barkman with Unleash Your Creativity here with you tonight. It is Monday night and this is our first live event that I'm going to be doing with you in the future every Monday night. So some will be recorded, some will be actually live like tonight. And we are always going to be working on some kind of project, a technique, just something fun. So I am just going to check and make sure that I can see myself online. If you are here with me, please feel free to comment, to share. I would love to see your comments and love to know what you think of today's project. If you are online with me and you have viewed the video either before or after, please feel free to also share this video so that you can earn ballots into a draw. Every week I'm going to do a draw for one of the cards that we are creating. So this week you will be able to earn the card that we create, and you will be able to sorry, I'm getting a message that my frame rate is too low. So let me just see if I can change that on my video feed here and see if that is better. This is all new to me, so just bear with me. Yeah, so what I was saying is if you share the video, I greatly appreciate that, and you will be able to earn ballots into a card. So let's have a look at our project today and just get started in that. I'm going to switch you down here so that you can see what I will be doing. Sorry for the little bit of camera shake. I am also going to be turning on this light just to give you a little bit of an extra view there. And we are going to be seeing, whoops, just a sec. Let's do that there, and now I should be able to see comments over here. Okay, so this is the project that we're going to be working on. It is one of the pinwheel cards that are all the rage right now. So it stands up like this, and you can see there are 4 sides to it. So what we're going to be doing tonight is creating a slightly different version of this. This one here is using the Plentiful Plants stamp set and the Designer Series paper. And I've created this 4-panel card with it. And this is what we're going to do tonight, but we are going to do it with the hand-penned set. So on this one, I have given myself some room to write on a piece of DSP that, if you look at that, it's actually made to look like a piece of flooring. So this is the blank piece of paper that you can use to write your greeting on, and everything else is just a little bit of decorative area. You could certainly put a greeting on this panel as well if you wanted. This one is just the Designer Series paper, or DSP, with a little bit of a greeting, and then the front of the card has some ribbon and a little potted plant set up here, and this is great. It sits super nicely on anyone's counter or surface. So this is the idea that we're going for today. I do have all of my papers prepped, so let me provide you with some of the measurements that you're going to need if you are trying to or wanting to follow along and make your own card. You are going to need a piece of cardstock that has been cut. I'm just trying to pull mine out here. Give me a moment. I know that rattling has got to be fairly distracting. Sorry about that. Okay, so you are going to have a piece of cardstock. I am using the Soft Succulent today, and this one is going to be cut 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then I'll give you the scoring for that in a moment. And then you are going to have a few pieces of DSP. So you're going to need 3 pieces of DSP. Where did my last one go? There's my last one. So I'm using the hand penned, and I have 3 pieces of DSP. And you're also going to need 1 piece of basic white, and those are all cut to 2 3/4 by 4, so all 3 of those. Then you also have alternating DSP in, these are supposed to be this way, I think. You have alternating DSP options in sizes 2 by 4, And then we also have some additional pieces of cardstock. There are 3 of these, and these are in 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and then we are going to put everything aside except this long piece of cardstock, and I will share with you the scoring. I will try in the comments of the video to put this information in there too, but there is your scoring and your measurements if you wanted to take a quick snapshot of that or write it down for yourself. I will try to keep it in the video here for a few more minutes, just off to the side. I'm going to get out my paper trimmer, and we are going to start scoring this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to first score it at 3/4, and when I'm using less than a 1 inch measurement, I like to use the right hand side of my scoring trimmer here, or the right hand side of the measurements on the trimmer. So I'm going to put that at the 3/4 mark, and I am going to mark that. Okay, so there's my score line. Let's see if I can pick it up. You should be able to see the score line there. I'm going to flip it around because now my next score line is going at 1 1/2, which is right here. Make sure I have it straight. Make sure the cutting blade is out of the way. All right, so that's my 1 1/2, and then I'm going to 2 1/4. That is 2 1/4, and then I'm going out over here to 3 inches. All my measurements are in inches, so if you are working in centimeters, you are going to have to convert those. Okay, so with my cardstock, what I am going to do with these score lines is now burnish along them. So we are going to fold this one here and burnish it, and we are going to fold the next one here and burnish it, and we are going to fold the third one and burnish it, and we are going to fold finally the last one and burnish it. And the last one is going to make that fold just slightly past the halfway mark of your other side that doesn't have the scoring on it, and that is fine. Stack that up. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. That's okay. All right, let me grab some adhesive. For this one, I want to use my Tombow glue, which I have hidden away. Okay, so we are going to, what the idea here is we are going to make a cylinder with those folded panels, and we want to glue this cylinder onto this final panel here so that we have this box like this. Okay, and that's what makes up that center of our card here. So I'm going to just take a little bit of liquid glue, and I like using liquid glue especially for this piece because it does allow me to maneuver the edge just a little bit, and that's maybe a little bit of glue on those edges, so I'm going to pull it into the middle there, cap that glue off, and tuck it over to the side. We do want to now roll this edge right into that last score mark. Can you see it there? I'm just going to roll it right down into there, and I'm going to glue it to the back. And then I like to stand it up. Just make sure, looking down into that cylinder, that I've got a really nice tucked edge. I want to make sure that my edges over here are flat so that I'm going to get a nice stand when the card is finished. And then I just tuck my fingers in there and give it a little bit of a press to make sure that glue is nicely stuck down. Okay, so that's our base. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cardstock that I have over here off to the side, and I'm just going to create this windmill. So to do that, I'm going to add one of these panels of soft succulent to each side of the center of this. And I am going to do that with, my Tombow glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along this edge here. Okay, and I'm going to place my cardstock right on there, give it a little hold, and then I'm just going to give it a moment to dry, and I'm going to go on to the next one. go on to the next one, and you're just doing the exact same thing on the next side here. So just a little bit of glue down here, and add that piece of cardstock right along that edge. Okay, whoops, right there and right there, and I'm just going to give it a gentle push down. Okay, and then we are on the last edge, and here I am just going to put a little bit of glue again on that edge and attach that piece of cardstock on there. Now I'm going to let that set up for just a moment, and we are going to want this to go into an envelope. I'm going to put it like that for now. So I do want to be able to lay it flat, and we will make sure that we are able to do that. I hope everyone can hear me. I see there is someone watching. If you want to give me a thumbs up, or let me know that you are having no problems watching. I am getting an error on my end saying that my my video is too slow, so I hope that you are able to see okay. It looks okay from the video stream I'm watching, but I'd really appreciate your feedback on that, because like I said, this is the first time I am doing it this way. I am sure there are going to be a little bit of bumps in the road, but we will definitely overcome those as time goes on. So I have got these pieces of designer series paper. You may hear me refer to them as DSP, and I had already pre-cut these coming into tonight. I didn't want you to have to watch me fumbling with cutting on top of everything else, and I had sort of planned where I was going to pair these guys up. So that's how I was going to pair them up, and I am just going to move that over, and we are just going to start by laying a couple of these flat, making sure that the folds will bend both ways. A couple of them might be a little bit stiff, which is why I want to do this before we get any DSP on here. And just make sure that we have some nice crisp edges now that we have all those panels down. Alright, that looks great. So we're just going to pick one side to start with, and I'm going to start with this piece here. And actually, this is where I want my ribbons. The first thing I'm going to do is attach that ribbon. I need some glue dots to do that, so let me get them out of my pouch here. Let's see, are these my minis or are these my regulars? Perfect. Okay, so I want some regular glue dots, and I only want you to see the ribbon when it's going across this piece of DSP. I could attach the ribbon, if I wanted, across the back of this piece here. The ribbon would be hidden, but I would get this little edge, because I've got a border. You would see, sorry, this way, you would see my ribbon going all the way over on this side, and you would get a slight ribbon edge. I'm just trying to move this. So if my ribbon's on this half here, you're going to get a ribbon edge that's going over this piece, and you're going to see it there. Now I want a nice tidy card, so I don't want that to be the way mine looks. So what I'm going to do is actually attach my ribbon very gently and carefully to this piece of designer series paper, and I'm going to try to center it. Actually, what I found worked really well is to just use my grid paper, because that's a wonderful tool that we have. Find my center. I'll do it from this end here. Just find my center here, and I'm going to add that ribbon right at the bottom. I'm going to grab another glue dot, and you will notice that I take the glue dot right off of the roll with the ribbon. I do find that is the easiest way for me to place those glue dots on my ribbon, and then I am going to glue that one down right in the center up here. Now, because this is an open weave ribbon, this is our in color in the pale papaya, it does have a little bit of stick right through that open weave ribbon, so you need to be a little careful there. I am now going to put this down on my workspace. I am going to bring that ribbon right into the center of this panel where I would like to be able to tie a knot. So I'm just going to clip that ribbon apart, and I was using a length of ribbon that was about 10 inches. My card, or my base here, my designer series paper is about, well, not about, it is 4 inches wide. So I used a piece of ribbon that was about 10 inches long just to give me enough room here to tie the tails. Now what I like to do is just anchor that ribbon exactly where I want my knot to be and to stay. So I'm going to do that by pulling this in, tying a little simple knot here very, very gently so that I'm not curling this designer series paper up and I'm not creating a tear in it, and I'm going to just, with my take a pick tool, put that glue dot down, and I'm going to attach my ribbon. So that's going to allow my ribbon not to be sliding around, and I am just going to tie a knot here, fumbling a little bit. I'm going to tie a knot right here, and get a nice, as nice a square knot as I can, and then I am just going to trim off these edges a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to tuck that in there, and this one I'm going to trim this way. Just a nice diagonal clean edge on that ribbon. So now I'm ready to adhere all of these different panels to my card, and I'm going to do that just by using a bit of liquid glue. Again, the liquid glue is going to allow me just a little bit of time to make sure that my papers are straight and framed exactly the way I want them to be within this space. And I am just going to use my grid lines again to help me out just a little bit here. I'll try not to get my head in the frame so that you are able to see what I am doing. Alright, so there is the first one. Love this panel. And that is going to go across from this polka dot that is on the pale papaya. Matches quite well. It happens to be the reverse side of the same paper. So one thing I love about this card is Stampin' Up! Has done an awesome job of designing all of this designer series paper. There are so many beautiful papers in this this year's catalog, both the annual catalog, which is where this particular paper is from, as well as our new mini occasions catalog, which is going to be going live in August. If you don't have one yet, check your mailbox if you are one of my customers. One should be arriving soon. And if you are not one of my current customers but would like a copy, please feel free to drop me a line, send me a message on Facebook, and let me know that you would like one. Alright, now this I did wrong on this card. I wanted to be able to write, actually no, I did it right. It took me a while though to find the flattest part where I could put this piece of paper and we would be able to write on this after. So what I'm going to do here is make sure that this piece of white cardstock, which is where I want to be able to write or stamp, if you can also stamp a greeting on here if you wanted, I want that piece to go right straight across from where my ribbon is. That's so that when I am ready to write on here, I have the flattest surface possible with which to write on. There are still going to be a little bit of edges on here just because of that centerpiece, but it is fairly flat. I'm also going to put some, almost out of my glue, also going to put some designer series paper on this other panel to the left here, and again I'm just going to try to center that as best as I can within that frame, lining it up with the white so that at least the edges are even. Okay, and we'll flip the panel again. I think I'm going to use this very pretty purple pattern again, or not again, but I'm going to use that one over here. Going with the patterned piece over here on the side, and I have to say out of this particular set of patterned paper, this one is my absolute favorite. My favorite color is purple, so this is just perfect for me. And using a little bit of glue on here, I am also going to glue this panel down on the right hand side. Okay, just a little bit over there. Perfect. All right. Last set of panels. This one's going to go down on the left again. And this, you'll notice, it had that same purple, which is what we used over here. But I thought it was such a nice, it was very different because here we've got the purple daisy, here we've got a lot of yellow. So I did use the same pattern on this panel here, but it does have a completely, I felt, different look and feel to it. So I didn't find that that was going to be problematic for me. Okay, so that one's down there. And then on this side, we've got this beautiful paper. I'm covering this up. I'm not going to use any of that gorgeous jade and soft succulent and cinnamon cider. Those are all in colors for the next year or so. And it is going down here. And on this side of this paper, we have this beautiful mint macaron color. But that is what I wanted showing, so that's what's going to be here. So we're going to just let those papers set up for a moment. I'm going to put this aside, and in the meantime we want to decorate some of these panels. So the way I decorated this one, I had stamped and cut these figures out of the Plentiful Plants, and then this one, I thought this paper was really interesting because this one has a whole lot of pots all over it, and I just happened to have a piece that was the right size to fit on this side of my pinwheel. So that was a great little a way of making sure that I had a decorative element over there. And then on this side, against this beautiful white brick wall, I had made this little hanging macrame pot. And then again, this side, I didn't have to do too much decorating. Now I have chosen on this other card to have some fairly plain panels, and that is specifically to allow me to decorate those panels a little bit. So what I've done is I've pulled out the hand-penned stamp set, which is this one here, and we're going to use a bunch of stamps out of here. We're going to actually use these two stamps here to decorate a couple of the panels, and I'm going to use these little fills to fill them in. So the first thing that we're going to do is pull out a stamping foam, because we are going to be using photopolymer stamps. They do need a little bit of cushion behind them. And I'm going to pull in, pull in my Memento ink. And the first thing we're going to do is use these two beautiful large stamps right here. And I'm going to stamp those on this white piece of paper. So I love double mounting my stamps. That way I don't have blocks all over my desk. Especially when I'm doing something on a live or I'm doing a recorded video, I've got a lot of technical items around me, so I don't have a lot of room actually to craft. But double mounting my stamps allows me to maximize that space. So let's see, am I going to be able to put both of these on here? Nope, there's not going to be enough space. It doesn't matter how I space it out. So, whoops, we're going to go. Try not to get my head in the shot. I'm going to put that one over here. We're just going to hold it there for a moment so that I get good coverage. I'm still recovering from shoulder surgery, so I don't have as much downward pressure as I might like to have, but there's that image, and I think that looks great. I am now going to take this piece of white, and I am going to stamp one of these on this one here. Okay, so that's going to go over here, and maybe I can get something else out of this piece, trying to be conservative with my paper. And then we're going to lift that up, and it's beautiful. Alright, let me just use a chamois to clean this off so I don't end up with this ink, whoops, all over my fingers. I just stuck my finger right into that beautiful stamp there, so I'm sure I've got ink on myself there. Okay, this chamois is one of my favorite things to clean off my stamps. It's pretty black in the middle, but that's okay. It still cleans them off. That's what counts. Okay, so those stamps are ready to go. Now, my plan is to put one of these guys across from this set of flowers here. So what I want to do is imitate the same flowers or the same colors that are in this flower pattern. So I'm going to pull in my Blushing Bride, I am going to pull in my Daffodil Delight, and I am going to pull in my Soft Succulent. So the first thing I'm going to do maybe is stamp my leaves because I happen to have the Soft Succulent in my hands. And again, double mounted stamps. This time though I am going to remove that guy so that I can see properly through here and make sure that I get these guys nicely lined up. So the idea behind this particular stamp set is not to have a perfect lineup of your images. You do have a bit of watercoloring, so there are some white spots on there. Okay, I'm going to wash that stamp off. I think that was all the small leaves, or maybe did I miss one here? I did miss one here. Thought this was a large guy, but he's a little guy. All right. So, like I was saying, you are going to have some white fill around there. That is just the design of the stamps, and that is definitely the style right now. I'm going to put that little guy down for the moment and bring in my larger leaf and just try to line him up over here. And I think I had him backwards maybe. Nope. The point's definitely at the top. Well, let's try it this way just to see. Oh, maybe it does line up better this way. There we go. That's okay. I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so there's my leaves. Now we have this set of double flowers over here. So I am going to do the little flowers in Daffodil Delight, I think. So let's take those guys. Again, I've got a double mounted here, but I can move that off for now. So these guys here, do I have them lined up nicely? I think so. Those are going to be yellow, and those ones there are going to be yellow. Clean that off. And I'll just double mount this one again, or mount that one again. That I think is my largest flower. Definitely my largest flower. Okay, so let's do, it looks like the large flowers on my little piece of sample here, they look like they're in the pink, so let's do this one in the pink. And I think we'll do the bigger one, the more medium one. We'll do that one also in the pink. My ink pad's a little juicy there. I'm going to need to move some of that ink out of the way. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a bone folder. This is an older bone folder. It's got a chunk out of it. I don't know what happened there. But I'm going to actually just take a little bit of ink out of the middle of this ink pad and move it to the side. And just get a cloth, wipe that off. And hopefully that'll give me a little bit of a better coverage when I go for this medium-sized one. Where's my small flower? One, two, oh, I don't think I took it out of the package. Okay, let's put that in the middle. Is that this one? Nope, I think it's this one. Then that's not the color that we want. Okay, let's grab the other stamp that I did not get out of here. One, two, oh, that's gotta be it, because that's the only other stamp I have. So it looks like this one stamp is for both of these flowers. So we're going to put this one like that. Okay, and I'm going to clean that one off. And I'm going to put this one in the Pale Papaya. So I'm getting all of the colors that are on that side of the DSP, and I'm going to get it right in here. Does not seem correct. I think I have misplaced a stamp. Did I unmount it and then lose it? Okay, Okay, well, I'm sure I'll find it after. We're going to do this. Like I said, these don't have to be perfect. They are meant to be kind of water brushed, and we'll go from there. Oh, look, there it is. I put it off to the side. Okay. Oh, well, we're good. I don't think I need that one on this one either. Okay, so let's do this one now. This one is going to use some Highland Heather. We are going to imitate the flower and the colors over here on this side for this particular image. So I'm going to use some Highland Heather. Again, I have a really juicy ink pad. Okay, lining this one up. It's a little difficult when I don't want to get my head in the shot. Hopefully I've done a fairly good job there. I'm happy enough with that. We have some large leaves, it looks like, and a large flower. Okay, my ink pad is very stiff. Okay, so soft succulent and some leaves. I have the larger leaf here, and it looks like that's what I'm going to need. So 1, I'm going to go with 2, and 3, and then there's this little leaf here. Is he going to fit better in that space? He certainly is going to fit better in that space. So we're just going to mount him up here, put him there, and I wonder if I can, no, not quite, it doesn't fit that space. All right, where is my medium flower? I think that's this one here. Let's turn it, see if we can get a match on the shape. That looks like it there. Okay, so that one is going to be in the yellow because we've got a little bit of yellow on this card. I could have also probably pulled in some of that mint macron. That would have been very, very pretty in here, but I'm just going to stick with the yellow and purple because I think those are beautifully complementary to each other. Okay, so those are all stamped now. Let me clean this one off. I don't want to get ink all over my project that is actually going to be a project for one of you. So if you are just joining us, what I said at the beginning of this little live is that if you share, and let me know that you've shared this video on one of your pages, either your own page or if you have a group of friends and you can share it to the group page who would be interested in this, that would be wonderful. But for everyone who shares, they're going to get an entry into a draw, and they are actually going to win the card that we are making tonight. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm also going to move this ink out of the way, and I am going to bring up our cut and emboss machine, and we are going to cut these pieces out because there is a wonderful die for this. So I'm going to put that one down there, and I'm going to grab these beautiful dies that Stabbing Up has come out with that match this set. So we're going to need this one, and we're going to need this one. So I've got one for each of those flowers that we stamped. And this one is going to go on here. Let's see if I can line it up fairly well. Okay, I like using just a little bit of washi tape. You could also use, you know, Post-it note, just anything to kind of hold that in place. I really miss, we used to have magnetic sheets that would hold those in place, but we just don't have those right now, and I really, really miss them. Okay, so I'm going to wind this through. I'm sorry if there is a little bit of camera shake. Fortunately, that is a hazard when you are using a cutting machine like this. All right, so that one there has gone through. Okay, pull this off. Come on. There we go. Move that out of the way. That one's come through fairly nicely. Here is the other one that we are cutting. I'm going to line this one up as best I can. Again, you can do an awesome job getting really nicely lined up with these. The die does fit pretty well exactly the outline of the stamp, and it will cut away. Let me grab this one here that we had previously done. It will cut away some of the areas in the center as well. So it is awesome if you can get this lined up perfectly. Again, a little hard for me with the camera in the way, but it can certainly be done for you. All right, I am going to cut this one out, roll it back, and let's see what we've got here. All right, so there is the second flower. I'm going to put that one aside, and the last cutout I want to do is just a cutout ahead of time for the area where I'm going to stamp the greeting. So I'm going to put that over there, move that aside, and I'm going to get this lovely, this set here is called Hippo and Friends, and I'm going to pull out these lovely shapes. They're just awesome. I don't know if you can see them all there. These shapes here are just awesome for going around different greetings, just giving you a little bit of a different shape to your paper, and I'm going to use one of those, just cutting it out of the white, whoops, so that I have that shape to cut or to stamp into a little bit later on. Okay, so winding that through here. So last time we'll be cutting something out with this, and you'll notice I didn't use washi tape on this, and that's because it didn't matter if it moved around just a wee bit in cutting that out, because it was a blank piece of paper, so I could be a little more forgiving on how exactly that cut. So let me move this machine out of the way now, and we'll start the little assembly on our card here. So to assemble the card, the first thing I'm going to do is pull this little greeting tag out. I'm going to grab my foam again, and I'm going to grab the Pansy Patch stamp set. I could use any of the greetings from here, but I wanted this card to be a happy birthday. So I liked this little happy birthday here, and I liked it primarily because it actually fit into this little shape that I've cut, and I liked the font of it, so we're just going to grab that, and I think, what color should I do this in? It's going on the pale papaya. This is going to go over here on this page. I feel like maybe just some black. I think some black ink would just make that pop very nicely. So let's do that. Let's grab a little bit of black ink, and we're just going to stamp that on here. Okay, hold that down for a moment. Just nice, easy stamping. All right, we'll move this out of the way, and then we'll get to assembling this card. Now, if you are going to be popping this particular card into the mail, you are going to be wanting to be cognizant of if you're going to use some dimensionals on here, of how thick you make this. And because I know this is going out to one of you who are watching right now, this will be going in the mail, so I am going to use, that's not what I wanted. I wanted some Stamp and Seal, which is right here. So that's what this is going to be mounted on. I'm just going to use a little bit in a couple of corners. Get that started. I know I broke there we go, the adhesive incorrectly last time, so that's why I had to give it a little bit of a start like that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of glue on there, and I'm going to just put that kind of right in the middle. Maybe I'll tilt it a little bit. I think that'll be quite pretty. Okay, it takes up most of that room. Well, let's get a little bit of dimension on the top of that. So just with the happy birthday, this particular page of dimensionals is almost completely used up, so you will see that I have cut up the frame, and I've used up every last piece. So don't throw out your dimensional page thinking, oh, I've used all the centers and I'm done. Definitely not. You can absolutely use that edge to create more lift on your projects and use every last bit of your page of dimensionals. All right, so that's essentially the front of our card there. And then this is the paper that we are going to leave blank to write on. You can stamp in the middle of that if you would like. This one here, I am going to put this little bit of flower on there, and you know, maybe I'm gonna find some green to color that in with. Give me one moment. I know I use soft succulent. I have a marker, a blend for soft succulent, so that's the dark one. Whoopsie. That'll do. And you know, I'll just throw some pens around while I'm at it. It's a good thing there's nothing breakable there. Alright, so I'm just going to color this stem, just fill it in a little bit. Just didn't like how naked that was feeling. Okay, so just with the brush tip, I'm just going to go up, and I'm going to fill this one in here. There we go. I like that much better. Okay, so this piece is just going to go in here like that, and I'm going to use the tape runner on that as well. A little bit in the center, a little bit on this flower, a little bit on the leaf. That'll be plenty to hold that. I feel like we might even be able to do with a little bit of ribbon there. Let me see. I have, pretty sure, oh, this is gorgeous gray. Well, will that work? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. I'm just going to tie a little knot. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Is that going to affect my writing? It's absolutely going to affect my writing. We're going to scratch this idea. I thought maybe I could add a little bit of ribbon there, but it's going to affect the way you're able to write on the panel behind. So we're not going to do that today. But that is going to complete this beautiful little card. So we've got, oh, you know what else we could add though? This would be fun. Let's add some genial gems. Let's add some of these guys. There's the opening. Let's put, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use these soft succulent, which is these little green ones, and we're just going to put a couple of these on this page here, one there, and maybe one more, I don't know, maybe in there. How about over here? There we go. That just adds a little bit of bling. That's what I feel it was missing. And I think we are done. So I would love to hear what you thought of this project. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope it inspires you with some ideas. There's our full project. So we've got some fun little things here to do. So if you go ahead and make one of these, please share it with me. You can post in the comments to this video below. And I really want to thank you for joining me tonight. I will be back. Next Monday will be a recorded video. We are on holidays as a family next week. So it will be recorded and posted here on Monday at 7. Otherwise, happy stamping, and I will see you again next week.